Hello my dudes, whenever I ever called you dudes. Anyway, today I'm bringing you a little vlog that I filmed where I basically dedicated a day to read. It wasn't like a 24-hour readathon in the fact that I just spent 24 hours just reading, but I'm also made reading a priority. And I ended up reading 2 books, I think. One was a poetry collection, which I really enjoyed, and one was a full-length novel as well by audiobook. So I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog. I did actually get sick, but I am better now, so I hope in the next coming weeks I can get some content out there for you. I am recovered now from my sickness. You could say I was down with the sickness. Oh my god, such a good joke. But yeah, I'm recovered from my gastroenteritis, I think it was. I don't actually know, like norovirus thing. It was fucking horrible. But I am better now, so you can expect some more content from me. And I hope that you enjoy this little vlog that I put together before I got sick. Enjoy.
Hey, listen!
It is currently 12:31 and I have decided, because I have today off work, that I would do a 24-hour readathon. I haven't actually tried to read for 24 consecutive hours in a very long time. Like, I think it's close to a year at this point, like last July maybe. So I thought I would try it today because I had yesterday off work and I also have today off work as well. So I thought I would read for 24 hours. That isn't all I'll be doing over 24 hours. As you can see by my hair, it definitely needs a wash, and I need to film a video, and I also need to tidy my room up. So there's other things I still have to do tomorrow, but I would like to make reading one of the focuses of tomorrow. I have read 40 books this year and I'm 12 away from my Goodreads goal, and we're in August, like almost. I just need more. I just feel like I'm still really behind on my Goodreads goal. I feel like I'm so behind with all the books I wanted to read this year. So to be honest, I decided just to go ahead and read 24 hours because what else am I supposed to do? It's summer, I have greasy hair. What else am I supposed to do? Apart from want to literally peel my own skin off because it is too fucking hot. It is about 12:30, half an hour later than I wanted to start. But I thought I would start off this readathon strong with a poetry collection that my best friend actually bought me for doing so well on my second year uni results. My second year of university, especially the second half, so the second semester after Christmas, was one of the hardest I think I've ever had to do in my entire life. So the fact that I got the results that I did, I'm not here to gloat or like boast or anything, so I'm not gonna say what I got, but safe to say I did pretty well, and I actually survived the year, which was more than I was expecting to. My best friend got me some books to celebrate me doing so well and actually surviving the semester, and this was one of the books that she got me. It is If My Body Could Speak by Blythe Byard. It's just a short little button poetry collection of some stuff about empowerment and eating disorders. I have actually read a couple poems already. I'm actually on page 11 of this right now. I'm just really feeling this right now. I think I need something a little bit hard-hitting, a little bit in my recovery, because I am recovering from my eating disorder, if you didn't know. And these few days, I don't know, for some reason, this past maybe week or so, have just been extra difficult in that region. So I thought I would treat myself to something that A, one of my friends bought me, and B, will kind of hit that spot, you know, remind me what I'm recovering for, sort of thing. Excited to dive into this. Again, I'm on page 11 of this so far, and one of the rules I have for readathons, I used to have actually when I did them all the time, was that I always wanted to finish one book before I went to sleep, so that when I woke up, it felt like I was ahead. But I reckon I can get this finished before I go to sleep, and then I'll wake up tomorrow fresh as a daisy and carry on reading something. I think I might go with an audiobook, see if there's anything on Scribd that I fancy. We'll probably decide that tomorrow morning though, but for now, I'm gonna read some poetry and probably cry. What a great way to start this vlog. Good morning. It is like 10 AM and I didn't actually mean to stay in bed that long. I did actually want to wake up quite early, like 7/8. That's when I set my alarm for. I was gonna wake up, but my body needed sleep. It needed a rest. I could feel it. And this is a sign just to honor your body's needs and to sleep when you need to and to rest when you need to. My hair is so greasy and I would really like to fix that today, so I think that's one of the first things that I'm going to be doing. I also would really like to clean my room, which means I need to pick an audiobook, but first I thought I'd update you on something that I read last night, and that is If My Body Could Speak by Blythe Bard. I ended up giving this a 3 stars. I finished this last night, and the early hours is probably why I didn't want to get up this morning, because I'm not sure how I used to do it. I used to stay up until like maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning, like finishing my first book. This was only like, what, 100-200 pages at most. I'm not sure how I stayed up until like 4 a.m. finishing like a 400-300 page book at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up at like 9 or like 8 to carry on reading. I think I went to sleep at about like 2 a.m. after finishing this. I gave this a 3 stars. I did write a whole Goodreads review at like 2 a.m. I really liked this. I think the representation of the subject matters was really well done. On the back here it says it is a celebration of girlhood and survival and all of the struggles and triumphs that come with it. So the poems that are featured in this poetry collection, they range all the way from like being sick with an eating disorder and still being sick and wanting to be, you know, skinny and thin and stuff, all the way from that and like rape and sexual assault, so trigger warnings for those things if you're thinking of reading this. It goes all the way from those themes to like survival and healing and, you know, knowing what is best for you and stuff like that. And I thought this was really well done. I thought the representation, someone who has struggled with a lot of these things that come up in this poetry collection, I thought the representation was really good. I thought it was really well written. I think it was beautiful in some aspects, but like I said in my Goodreads review, I found some structural things to be not entirely my taste. So for example, I feel like some of the poems just had a really weird rhythm to them and ended up on like rhyming schemes or a rhythm scheme that just didn't really like feel like it was finished. And also I just found like some of the language that was used in this poetry collection just wasn't like up to my standard. Blythe Bard uses like LOL in her poetry and hella gay and other stuff that just took me out of the reading experience. That is fine if that's personally what you wanted to do, which is partly why poetry is so hard to like read and rate. Poetry is such like a fluid genre that you might pick up a book, a poetry collection that you might love, and then you fall in love with poetry or think that you'll fall in love with poetry, and then you pick up a different poetry collection and suddenly hate it because it wasn't like the first one. If that makes any sort of sense. Poetry is very personal, so it makes it very hard to rate and review, but that is personally not my taste in poetry. It's not like reading LOL and hella gay on the page. It felt quite, I don't know, unprofessional, childlike. It felt, I'm not sure how I would describe that without being like offensive, but I just found it to be like really just take me out of the reading experience. No matter what the word is for it, it just took me out of the reading experience. I just would prefer like other words to be used. So yeah, I really did enjoy this. I gave it 3 stars just because of the structural differences that I personally wouldn't have used, and the words as well that just kind of stood up like sore thumbs to me. It didn't really make sense for there to be such beautiful like verses and then for there to be hella gay in there. It's just, they just stood out, and I just feel like it really dragged the book down for me. So yeah, that is the first book complete. It is 10 a.m. already and I feel like really behind already, but you know, I've got 1 book down, and even if I just get 1 more book like finished, I think I'll be really happy with myself. Speaking of, let's go ahead and pick my next read. So I've brought you in to the kitchen for a little bit of a different scenery. I have decided to go ahead and pick between 2 of the audiobooks that I have found on Scribd. I went just through my list of the ones that I'd saved and then compared it to the books that I own, and I've come up with 2. I actually was surprised that both of these books I'm about to mention are on Scribd, but the first one is Felix Ever After by Kason Calendar. Sorry, I thought it was McCallender, but it's not. It's just Calendar. Mandala Effect. Just kidding, I'm just dumb. I also found Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas as well. So I've got kind of like a good pick of these 2. I have about 14 hours of the readathon left, and Cemetery Boys has 13 hours in it, which is not double speed. So half of 13 is about 7, so like 6.5, so 6.5 hours that would take me if I was going to listen to that one. Felix Ever After, it's only an 8-hour audiobook, so I can get this finished in about 4 hours. So maybe I'm going to opt to read this one because I feel like this one is, I think that this one's like a fantasy book and this one is like YA contemporary. So maybe I'll gravitate more towards this and then see where I am later if I want to read Cemetery Boys. But I've decided to go ahead and pick Felix Ever After just because it's got like a shorter duration. On the back here it says, it's easy sometimes to love when you know it's a love you can't have. That is so fucking tragic. It's about Felix Love, who has never been in love before. What's worse is that even though he is proud of his identity, Felix also secretly fears that he's one marginalisation too many. He's black, queer and transgender to ever get his own happily ever after. When an anonymous student begins sending him transphobic messages after publicly posting Felix's dead name alongside, what the fuck? Images of him after he transitioned. Not my baby. Who are we gonna have to kill? Who are we fighting, Felix? Tell me and we'll fight them. Felix comes up with a plan for revenge. What he didn't count on, his catfish scenario landing him in a love triangle. Oh no. But as he navigates his complicated feelings, Felix begins a journey of questioning and self-discovery that helps redefine his most important relationship, how he feels about himself. I am so excited for this. I've heard really good things about it. My friend Hazel read this recently and thought it was a good book. I think she has some criticisms, but I'm obviously wanting to find out my own opinion and see how I feel about it. But yeah, a really fun audiobook that I may read very quickly, and it is actually a beautiful book as well. I'm gonna start listening to this now actually while I start making some breakfast. I really want to read this now. I've convinced myself. So I've just had some jam on toast. My favourite food in the entire world is jam on toast. It is the best shit. Yeah, I just had jam on toast and I have read, or rather I've listened to, up to page 100 of Felix Ever After. I do have some thoughts, I have some feelings. They aren't bad thoughts at all. They are either neutral or quite positive actually. This is my favourite spot to film in, like for vlogs, for anything really, so I just thought I'd pop you down here. I'm on page, I think it's about 90, but I'm just gonna call it 100 of Felix Ever After. If you read a lot of books, you will know that sometimes people describe books differently to what they actually are, and sometimes even the back of books just like false advertise, okay? But I feel like this doesn't do that, and I feel like everyone who I've heard speak about this have spoke about it in the most like authentic way, because it feels like that is actually like what's going on in the plot so far. Felix has literally just been like outed. This person has hacked somehow Felix's Instagram and is posting like pictures of them pre-transition and using their dead name. Obviously Felix feels pretty hurt by this, and he basically makes like a fake account to try and like catfish and troll the person he thinks is behind it. And in terms of like my own personal theories of who's behind it, I don't think it's going to be someone that we expect. So Felix thinks it is someone called Declan, who is his best friend's ex, and basically they ended on really bad terms. And so Felix's theory is that, you know, Declan to get back at them, and you know, he's been calling Felix a fraud, that he decided to out Felix as being a trans man and post, you know, really horrible things about him. He may be an arsehole, but I don't get like transphobic vibes from him, you know? So I don't think it's Declan. I don't think it's who we're expecting. I think it's gonna be someone that we don't realize it's gonna be. I personally feel like it's Felix's dad, because Felix, well, the author, I mean, in Felix's dialogue, hints at the fact that they still have pictures from like pre-transition with their father. I use they/them pronouns because in Felix's inner dialogue as well, they're kind of expressing concerns that they don't feel like a man either, even though they have transitioned into being a trans man. So I'm kind of using they/them pronouns. It feels the most appropriate. The author of this as well, Casey Calendar, I didn't realize, I did some research while I was reading. They actually are an author of color, a black author, a queer author, and they also go by they/them pronouns. So something to be aware of when talking about this book as well, is that the author does use they/them pronouns and is kind of own voices, which is incredible. So yeah, Felix is basically hunting down the person that they think that, you know, outed them. And it's really interesting actually to be in this kind of like this monologue, to be in this point of view, because obviously I am a cis, well, I also use they/she or she/they pronouns, and I have dabbled in, you know, gender expression and stuff. For me, I'm quite happy being like feminine and female presenting, but I also like to experiment with gender as well, and I think it's a massive social construct. So although I don't get the experience of being trans, I can relate in the fact that I have had some trouble with my gender in the past, and settling on a gender that you are, or gender identity expression, and expressing that in the way that you feel comfortable, it's a big decision to come to. It's a massive learning curve, and your gender and sexuality are always going to be fluid, always ever changing, whether that it stays the same and the types of people that you're attracted to changes, or whether your whole identity changes. It's so fluid, and I love the fact that this book captures that. There are people in here who thought they were bi and actually they're lesbian. There are people who thought they were gay and actually are bi. There's people in here that don't want to put labels on anything, like Felix's best friend. I just find like this cast of characters are so diverse. They're all really interesting. Amazing development, despite this only have been 100 pages. I feel like I know the cast of characters really well, but I'm hoping that kind of just expands and gets more sort of thing. In terms of characters, actually, there was one character I don't like. Felix's best friend is called Ezra, by the way. That was really ignorant. Marisol, is that her name? Marisol? Marisol? The way that she tells Felix that transitioning into a man is misogynistic and ends their entire relationship on it. Girl, I'm gonna fucking punch you. Really like this. I think it's good. I think I don't really have any bad things to say about it so far, apart from the fact that, you know, it is very YA, which, you know, isn't something that's bad necessarily. It's just affecting my reading experience, because I know it's not written with me in mind, because I'm way older than, you know, the desired audience for Felix Ever After. But I'm still reading it because, you know, everyone has that damaged inner teen inside of them that was queer and closeted and wants to read these sorts of books, because it feels like, you know, coming home. It feels comforting to know that these stories exist for teenagers now. But some of the dialogue is so painfully like teen, and it's also like painfully teen in the fact that it's the author writing teens as if they know them, if that makes sense. Like, this is how they think that teens talk and act, which isn't that far off, to be honest, but I don't know, I just feel like that's the only like gripe I have with this at the moment. It's just like very teen, which isn't necessarily a criticism, it's just something that is on my mind. Like, I'm very obviously not the target audience for this, which is fine. It's not for me, and that's fine. I can still appreciate the book, but just keeping that in mind is very useful in this instance, I feel like. I am only 100 pages in, and I would like to carry on right now while I'm in my room. I'm about to do that right now. Actually, predictions for what's gonna happen in terms of what I hope to happen, or what I think is gonna happen in terms of like picking up. I think because Felix is catfishing Declan, because it says love triangle on the back, big brain, I think they're gonna fall in love with each other in this catfish. And Ez's gonna be in the middle, like, that's my ex-boyfriend and my best friend. That is gonna be messy, because the last chapter I read ended with Declan saying to the fake account, I wish I could fall in love too. Oh my God, I just had an epiphany. Felix said that Ezra has like a fake account on Instagram. Is it him? Surely not. Ezra wouldn't do that. Did Ezra out him? Is this gonna be like my Rebecca vlog where I'm making up loads of fucking theories and it's just the obvious one, it is Declan? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read some more of this. I'll give more of my opinions. I'm also gonna clean my room as well, but I want to read the rest of this today and maybe even start something else as well. Something maybe shorter than Cemetery Boys, but I'm enjoying this so far. I'd like to carry on. It's great. I love the colour of it as well. Yeah! I'm gonna go clean my room now and get really hot and sweaty. As you can see, I have tried to take care of the greasy hair sitch. I just got out of the bath. Although this and my greasy hair don't look that much different. I am actually on page 212, which is chapter 16. I am about halfway through now. I don't really have that many thoughts, but the whole thing with Felix and Declan on those fake accounts did happen. They are starting to fall in love. And now Felix knows that it's not Declan. Well done, Felix. Catch up. I already know this. I have read about 200 pages of this now. I was debating on whether to dry my hair, but it's actually picked up in temperature since I went in the bath. Maybe it's because I've been in the bath and I'm still hot from it. But I think that if I blow dry my hair, I will just have a heat meltdown, because I'm not someone who deals with heat very well. As you can tell, I am very pale. So I'm not really someone who deals with heat all that well. So I think I'm just gonna leave my hair to naturally dry. I hope it doesn't look too bad. I have had like a little bit of a meltdown since getting out of the bath, deciding what to wear. But I'm trying to stay composed and I'm trying to just not cry about it, because if I start crying, I might not stop. I thought I'd try and make myself feel a little better with reading some more of this and telling you some of my thoughts about it. I genuinely think that it was someone we're not expecting it to be. Felix's father hasn't been mentioned in quite a while, I think since the first time we ever saw him. Would Felix's father be that petty and DM his child on Instagram about their gender identity? I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I think I've also blown the whole theory out of the water that it's Ezra. I can't believe I doubted my boy. It just came out what Mary something? I can't remember what her name is. I forget it every single time. She's not even relevant. The girl who told Felix that they were misogynistic for transitioning, it's just come out that she said that to them after like they broke up and stuff. And Ezra kind of went mental, I'm not gonna lie. So maybe it's not him. I don't think it's him. Leah, one of the Felix's friends, can just hack phones, so it's probably her, right? it's probably Leah. So maybe it might be Leah, it might be that other bitch, it might be Felix's dad. I actually really would like to know who it is. I'm about to brush my teeth and read some more. I'll let you know my thoughts. There's not really much to say really about my thoughts at this point, and there never is at this point of books. It's just like in the middle. Things are just kind of unraveling. but I thought I'd tell you my thought process. It's definitely not Ezra. Ezra is the MVP, the main man. And I can't believe I ever doubted Ezra. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish, get ready, brush my teeth. I might put some makeup on. Now it's picked up in temperature. I'm not sure if I actually want to, but I might do. I'm feeling quite shit about my appearance, to be honest. So I might do something to make me feel a little bit better. But yeah, for now, we're gonna brush my teeth and read some more of this via audiobook. Honestly, so much has happened within Felix Ever After. I'm trying just to kind of process it all. We still don't know who did the Instagram thing, unless I just completely zoned out and I don't know what's going on. I'm currently on page 315. There was an interaction between Leah and Felix, which was very wholesome and like asking if they can still be friends and stuff. But I'm not sure if that was about Leah doing the Instagram stuff or about his transphobic friend slash ex-girlfriend. I really can't remember what her name is. The most exciting thing that's happened though is the fact that Ezra is in love with Felix. Ezra is in love with Felix. I'm living for this like friends to lovers trope. I love the friends to lovers trope. I think it is the best thing ever. I don't know how much I believe the love triangle that's happening. I think all the characters are really well developed. I think they're all very interesting. I think it makes some good points about, you know, wanting validation from people is one of them. But also like the amount of struggles that non-binary and trans people go through, even within the community, like even within the LGBT plus community, there is still people who judge them. There are still people who don't accept them for who and as they are, even in their own community, like let alone wider society. And it makes a lot of good points around that. It also makes a lot of good points around just love in general and like how sometimes you can really fit with someone, really get on with them, you can really love them objectively, you can really love them and care for them, but you're not supposed to be together in a relationship. When that comment was made, my mouth was like hanging wide open. Felix Ever After makes such good points about first loves and coming of age, and it's just the perfect coming of age novel written by an author of colour and its own voices, and everything is just chef's kiss. I mean, it's not chef's kiss because it's not perfect. Rating I'm kind of going for now is probably a 3.5 because I think it's the upper end of the 3 stars, but not quite a 4 stars, not in the 4-star territory. Of course, that depends on the ending because Ezra and Felix aren't talking right now because Ezra confessed his motherfucking feelings and Felix wasn't sure how they felt, and I'm just kind of fucking going off my face, really hoping that the two of them get back together. Like in all romance fucking books, the third act always has a breakup or a lack of communication in, and I'm just like wanting them to be okay. Oh, also, something that's happened is Felix has been attending, I think they've attended 2 meetings at this like LGBT plus community center thing, and they discovered that they are a demi boy, meaning that they are very strongly tied to masculinity and being a man slash boy, but they also identify as non-binary sometimes as well. And I've never really delved into what being a demi boy means, so I'm also being educated by this. I'm kind of just having fun, vibing still, but a lot of drama has happened and I'm kind of living for it. Overall, I'm actually having a really good time. I think that the book has some really good messages. I've really enjoyed myself reading, and I'm excited to see how this ends and who the person was doing like the Instagram stuff and who was being transphobic. Is that going to be confirmed, or are we just guessing it was that transphobic the turf? It was probably her, let's be honest. I'm gonna fucking kick her. I'm gonna kick her in the face. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. I only have a couple chapters left, I think. On here it says I have about an hour left, which on double speed means that I have half an hour left because you halve it, obviously, because it's double speed. And I'll let you know how I feel about it after I'm finished and what kind of rating and thoughts I have all consolidated into one. I don't think I'm gonna be reading anything else today. I'm way too tired, and I kind of just want to chill for the rest of the day, but I will wrap this up ASAP as soon as I finish this book. Forget literally everything that I just said. I'm updating you now. Wait.
Me and Austin sitting across from each other. But the conversation eventually picks up as we talk about the last TV shows we binged, what movies we're looking forward to, what we'll do during the day once the summer program's over. Once upon a time, it wouldn't have been a difficult choice. I'd spend every second of every day with Ezra. Austin, Leah says, are you still going to that Ariana Grande concert next month? I'm swinging my foot beneath the table, but at the word Grande, I freeze. Even though I'm
That was the name of the guy from Instagram.
All that I can see are the text messages from Grande Queen 69. The anger, the hatred this troll had for me. The fucking gallery of me and my pictures and my dead name, driving myself crazy as I tried to figure out who the piece of shit was. If it was sitting in my class, it was you. Leah looks at me, startled, then confused. Sorry, what? Austin still won't look at me.
It was
He knows exactly what I'm talking
Austin.
about. There's only one thing I want to ask him. Why? He still won't look at me. Why did you do it? Leah's confusion is turning to fear as she looks back and forth between us. Realization dawning on her face, but it looks like she's having a hard time believing it too. Austin swallows as he stares at his pizza. You really pissed me off, Austin tells me. You know, how did I do that? I wanted to talk to Ezra, he says.
Ezra.
And it was like I could never get a chance to speak to him alone. You were always with him, and he was always fawning all over you. And it was bullshit, because he's into guys, and you're not even... Leah interrupts him. Don't, she says. Her eyes are wet, her cheeks red. She's crying. Don't you dare say that, Austin. He has the...
Leah, I'm sorry I doubted you.
It felt unfair, he says. It's not like it's easy to be gay, even if we are in Brooklyn, even if this is New York City. And now, we have to deal with people like you taking our identity, taking our space. I can't believe this, Leah says. Trans people aren't taking anything, I tell him. Is that why you wanted me to show you my hacking programs? Leah's shaking her head, eyes wide. And it's annoying, too, he says. Seeing you, I don't know, pushing it in her face that you're transgender. Not everyone can be as open. Not everyone gets to be out. I don't get to be out. My parents wouldn't accept me. But you're just flaunting it every chance that you get. Fucking hell, Leah says, her voice getting louder. You know, Austin, the real issue isn't that you're jealous of Felix or that you're pining after Ezra, which, by the way, will never fucking happen, so get the fuck over it. The real issue is that you're used to having everything. You're used to being a white guy in Brooklyn, used to always getting your way. No, fuck, I don't care that you're fucking gay. Because people like Felix are queer and trans and black, and they have to deal with so much more bullshit than you or me. And okay, yes, you are marginalized for being gay, but instead of being a fucking ally to other marginalized people, people even more marginalized than you buy into the racist and patriarchal bullshit and act like you're above them because you're a white guy. And you act like they're taking your space, and you think that you're owed this whole fucking world, and when you don't get what you want, you act like a fucking asshole. And god fucking damn it, Austin! She's screaming now.
Leah, I'm so sorry, babes. I doubted you.
Ezra, dressed in all black, shades on, curls flying in the breeze, grin on his face. I shout his name. Ezra! A few heads turn to me, but he doesn't hear me. Another float is coming. I wave my hands. Ezra! The float's paused. Everyone's watching now. People all around Ezra looking from him to me and back to him again. I love you! I yell.
Well, you watched me vlog, didn't you? I didn't film an outro to this because I got sick actually like really soon after I filmed it. But I really enjoyed the two books that I did read. I read If My Body Could Speak by Blythe Bard. I ended up giving If My Body Could Speak a 3 stars. I thought it was really hard hitting, and poetry can be really personal, and I find it extremely hard to rate poetry. But some of the things used and some of the words and structure that was utilised in this poetry collection, it just wasn't for me. Like the author uses hella gay and stuff like that. I think I talked about it in the vlog, so I won't go too much into it. But personally, I wouldn't have used some of the words. It just brought me out of the reading experience. And also some of the structure of like the rhyming schemes just felt like the poems sometimes were unfinished. But still a really great novel, a really great book, and I'm really glad that I gave it a chance. Felix Ever After, I gave a 3.75, so I enjoyed this marginally better than the Button Poetry Collection. Again, I won't talk too much about my thoughts because I did actually go through it in the vlog. I don't think I really believe the love triangle thing between Ezra, Declan, and Felix. I just don't feel like it was authentic. I didn't believe it at all. But otherwise, I really enjoyed this. I feel like it was a fantastic book about queer teenagers navigating their feelings and, you know, being trans, being non-binary, and it was so diverse. It was such a wide range of representation, which was fantastic. Obviously I found the relationships really complex and interesting, like with Ezra and Felix and how that evolved, with Declan and with Felix's father as well, and just all of those sorts of things. I found it really interesting. Obviously there were some critiques there, but otherwise a good book and a really good reading vlog as well. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it was a little bit sporadic and I know it was a little bit, you know, not good. It was a bit crap, but I hope that you enjoyed it anyway, and you give it a massive thumbs up on my channel and a subscribe. I really hope to see you in my next video. Until then, I hope that you enjoy any books that you pick up or any productive activity that you manage to do, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.